Welcome, everybody, to the StealthyCookies YouTube channel that you've stumbled into. This is the Spider Cookie, and I am StealthyGolem. And this is a sort of an introduction video. We call it maybe a podcast to just explain why we have started the YouTube channel, because we're both streamers on our own like main hobby interest, I guess you could say, on the internet. That's what we're famous for. Well, I'm not famous, but I'm famous. No, I'm just joking around.
I mean, I'd say neither of us are famous at this point.
Well, now, but when they're going to watch this video later, it's going to be, look at their humble beginnings.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. I wonder, you can talk about more like that later, about more specific stuff and streaming and whatever. But we think this video could be a very nice one to introduce the whole idea of why. Why is this channel happening? So we thought, you know what? It would be cool to do like a proper intro and talk about a little bit about ourselves and a little bit about the projects that we call this, the StealthyCookies thing, which is, of course, a combined name of us two. So,
of course,
what do you want to talk about? Favorite types of bakery goods? No.
Yes, I mean, it's a bit easy to guess for me, I guess, but
yeah.
Well, I don't think that's going to be super relevant, so
Not yet,
I'll just start by introducing myself, in case any of you don't know me yet. So, yeah, as you already said, I'm the Spider Cookie. I'm mainly a Twitch streamer, but also a university student, which is how I spent most of my time, either streaming or studying. Yeah, and I've been streaming since 2017. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm ancient in Twitch years. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, not much going on, I guess. So what about you?
I kind of have the same story about the whole Twitch thing as well. Well, a little bit of basic information. It's very much the same as Spider. I stream on Twitch and stuff. I do mostly retro stuff, variety, RPG. We kind of have the same vibe also, but she's more point and click and I'm more RPG, so I'm like more slow. She's boring. No. I also started, I like to say, in 2017 with streaming. That's when the first time I actually streamed to test it out for good. And it didn't really work out that much. I streamed for like 2 to 3 months and I quit. Mainly because of personal reasons and stuff. Didn't really work out for me. I wasn't a good time to stream a lot, but I've been around on Twitch for a long time. And I've had a lot of different streams since as early as 2009. Just randomly off and on. I just love the idea of just hanging out. And a lot of the people that I watch usually have been streamers and watch VODs of them. So that's kind of why I wanted to stream a little bit more, because all the people that I really like to watch myself has been streamers themselves. So I was, inspired. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you've already mentioned, I mainly stream retro. Yeah, I used to stream other games too, but in I think 2019, I switched to focusing on retro games. And, streaming, in the retro community on Twitch.
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned why did you change to retro?
Oh, the main reason I changed was because people requested for me to play older games. Yeah, I had a couple of viewers who really wanted to see me play certain point and clicks that they grew up with.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I started playing those games, and then it kind of turned into the main focus of my channel. So,
yeah,
just kind of happened.
Just stick with whatever works. It feels comfortable. That's the most important thing as a streamer. Just find the vibe that you're comfortable with, and people want to request things. And you realize that you're comfortable with it, then why the heck not? So that's
Of course, yeah.
for me. I just always it wasn't really what people suggested to me because I kind of started on retro. Because my official start, I said earlier that, or just now, that it was 2017. I had a break, and then I started streaming again. I was April 30th of last year, which would be then 2021. So that was when I got back into streaming. Now it's been my stream. I've been streaming ever since then for at least 3 times a week, but now it's up to 5, and it used to be 6. So I started with retro because I just love the idea of like a bit difficult to understand games, or quirky, or something just too fun to show off. So for me as a streamer, I knew that I kind of had, people always told me that they'd like to just listen to me talk. So I was, oh well, I got a selling point, I guess, and I like to talk myself, so it sounds like a good start, I guess. So, and for me personally, I love to watch people explain weird games. I just, what is this? And they start, oh no, you see, you have to do this. And it's, oh, very interesting, I didn't know. And I kind of want to take that role. And then it just became very natural because people started watching that. I liked doing that, and people kept requesting similar things to keep doing. So I'm still kind of doing the same thing that I started, and it's almost been a year now. I have some more variety, but that's usually what I stick to. Some oldie weirdo games and some classics in between.
Yeah, and I guess one of the main differences between our channels is, the amount of time we spend streaming. I stream 3 days a week, and I plan on keeping it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Because, I just prefer to, like, have it not be something I need to worry too much about financially. So I'd rather have a day job and stream.
Which is very reasonable. Which is what I would say to most people. And then you have me, who is a desperate man with a lot of passion. So, contrary to Spider, I try to do. I'm currently, I should say, because this might be a dated topic after a while. Currently, during the recording of this one, I am trying to do a full-time stream gig, and it's a possible thing that I can see that the future might hold for me. It might not be there yet, but if I keep doing it, I think that I have the ability to maintain some sort of financial way in content creation. Maybe not only streaming, maybe actually doing some extra stuff, but basically trying not to go back to my previous job or any other sort of entry-level job that doesn't really tickle any of my fancies. So currently I'm slightly able to continue doing this, and this is what I really like to do. Some sort of creating content for people on the internet. So yeah. Do you hear things in the background? I started to have people working on my apartment. Not my apartment, but otherwise.
Otherwise, that would be a bit weird if you didn't really know.
Yeah, they're on the way in right now.
Yeah.
I figured it's a good time. We start recording this time, and then they're going to do that thing. So we're basically both working, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting thing would be to talk about, like, we already talked about how close we are in terms of content. We both started in 2017. You kept going for a bit, and did you talk about having a break in between?
Oh yeah, I stopped streaming for like around 2 months. I think 2.5, around the start of my channel. But basically, I've been streaming consistently since, well, depending on whether or not you count that 2.5 month break, either August 2017 or February 2018. So, yeah.
So you had a 2.5 month break, and I had a 2.5 year break.
Yeah, slight difference there.
Slight difference. I checked my stream recording dates on the website, and there was I think there were 2 streams in 2018 or something. There wasn't anyone in 2019, but there was 2 in 2020. So, what can I say? It's a very, very part-time gig during those years. But yeah, what I was going to say is we have a very similar history. We stream very similar stuff. So how did we suddenly get to know each other is kind of a cool topic to touch on a bit.
Sure. Do you want to start on that? Because you found my channel first, so...
Yeah, so the interesting part of that is that when I was browsing retro, or maybe I was even doing like being part of a raid, which if you're not familiar with the term, raiding is when a channel basically stops streaming and then pushes all the viewers to a new stream just to pester them instead. So I don't know if that was the initial one or I was just lurking around in retro category because that's my favorite thing to kind of watch. But I had this idea that I knew I had seen this person before. I'm like, I must have seen this before. And I might have earlier. Might not be during the time when you didn't stream retro, but I just remember something. But I hadn't followed you, so I'm like, am I having false memories or not? Well, in any case, I like the channel and I'll follow it because it's just very calm. The interesting aspect was that she never had music on. It was like she hates music. That's what I was thinking. Like she hates music. She just doesn't care about it, which of course isn't true, but it's mostly to be safe from every sort of DMCA copyright issue claim. You don't have to worry about that being a thing, so I can understand that. But at the beginning, I was like, well, just an interesting individual. So it was just cool. I think the first one I really watched for a long time was when she played Fate of Atlantis within the Indiana Jones, I think. I was actually partaking in the chat, and from then we kind of started talking a little bit after that. We checked the dates earlier, so I followed her the 9th of July, right, on 2021. Or 6th, something about...
I think it was June.
June, so even earlier.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so pretty early into when I started streaming myself. Again, that is.
True. Because you started streaming end of April, so...
Yeah, so there's been like a month plus for that.
Yeah, so for me, like... I think you rated my channel at some point.
Probably.
And that's how I became aware that you're a streamer. Because if I remember correctly, you didn't really say anything in chat for at least like a month or two.
Yeah, that could make sense.
Yeah,
Proud
so either you were
here.
lurking or just not watching at all. I don't know. But yeah, if I remember correctly, you rated me. Then after the stream, I checked out your channel and followed you while you weren't even live. And then, like, well, saw at least, like, a stream at some point, but I wasn't really active in chat or anything. And then I ended up rating you.
Yeah, so we returned it like, hey.
So, yeah. And, yeah, at some point we started talking.
Yeah, that's kind of what separates most of other type of streamer relations. There's a lot of raiding back and forth and small talk in each other's channel and whatever, just to keep in touch. But somehow I think you contacted me, or I think so. Just we were already kind of on Discord. It might have been me, it might have been you,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really matter. Whatever happened, we just started talking, and we just realized that we kind of had a similar sort of vibe when it came to just chatting, and also when we started talking about stream-related stuff, which is if you start to talk on the stream, that's usually what you have as a talking point. And then we just hey, this is a good chat. So since then, we just kept chatting, and we come to this point. We can go in more in depth on how we got to this point, though, later on.
Sure. But yeah, I'd say we've been, like, friends since, like, September or something.
Yeah.
So
We would consider ourselves friends. Surprise, surprise, even though we
yes.
harass each other in chat. I guess we just come to that part.
But I mean, that's just how
A sign
it
of
works.
friendship is being able to throw some shit at somebody and they can actually, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're also each other's moderators in our
Yeah.
channels. So it's just part of being a moderator to try and annoy the streamer.
Yeah, and we've been called like twins more times than one just because, glasses, brown hair, and
Yeah.
retro relax content, and we just mod for each other and raid each other when we can. It's not we can't do it as much as we used to at this moment, but we tend to just that person's on, so I'm just gonna think about doing anything else than that. It's just nice, when you know where you want to go. When you have a friend's house you want to visit, you
Yeah.
just I'm gonna every time I'm done with school, I'm just gonna go over there.
So, why did we start this channel?
Yeah, why did we? I have no idea how we ended up here.
Yeah,
You wanna
where are
explain?
we anyway?
Want to explain what's going on right now? I've been dying for an explanation. I've been corralled into this weird situation, and you said today you'll get to know. That was October. No.
Well, if I remember correctly, we were like just chatting about how we both at some point were thinking about starting a YouTube channel, but wanted to kind of like not be the only host of that YouTube channel. So
Yeah, sort of.
yeah. So I remember talking about that, and yeah, since we noticed that we both kind of had similar ideas when it came to that, and well, we enjoy talking to each other. So yeah, we kind of just started planning on trying to start a channel together. And
Yeah.
here we are.
For me, it's like it's most of the same things that Spider mentioned. It's the idea of what I wanted to do a little bit more. I wanted to at least, I'd streamed a lot at the time where we even started to think about making a YouTube channel. So it wasn't that I wasn't really super busy, but I still wanted to have an idea of I want to maybe broaden my horizon a bit, or whatever you can call it. And I was thinking about maybe I should have some YouTube sketches and whatever, because I had some ideas, but then again, I never took time to make them. And I didn't really have a lot of motivation behind it, because when you're already busy doing other things, even though you want to do these things, and suddenly they're like, there's never any time to do that. But I wanted to do things, and I remember us talking about, first of all, what you mentioned with the wanting to have a YouTube channel idea. But we also were on the subject of, we always wanted, or it's been a long time, at least for me, it's been a very long time since I've had the vibe with someone, or shared interests of wanting to just do and play around with someone with video games and whatever. Just, it could be, you just want to hang out. And there's been a lot of things in the past, a lot of friends in the past, but nobody really ticked the box of, I want to have a project, I want to make something more with them, I want to hang with them every day or whatever. But the thing is, with Spider, we kind of just vibed really well, and we just wanted to do something together because we enjoyed each other's company. So when we started talking about the YouTube thing, it just became sort of evident that this is a thing that we could do then. Make videos together, and just have fun.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we kind of just started planning it, and I think we recorded our first video in January.
Yeah, I think so.
It is now the start of March
Yeah.
when recording this right now. So
As she said, she's a uni student and streamer, and I stream.
Yes.
Yeah, we're busy people, so it's like, yeah, of course we could be even more busier, but then again, we need to take care of our own health as well. And there's a thing called just things outside of being on the internet at all times as well. I've heard, I don't usually partake, but there are rumors.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone outside every now and then, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So it is a thing. You can
Yeah,
confirm.
the outside world still exists. I haven't even seen it today, so can confirm it's still out there.
It's nice now. I do enjoy spring.
Yeah,
It's barely spring though.
it's still a bit cold over here, so
Yeah.
it's like the end of winter more so than the start of spring.
It is. It's same here too. But it's the kind of weather that you just want to go out with less clothes than you actually need, and you're like, oh yes, oh it's very cold. Ah, but I just want to be out in a t-shirt. It's the stubborn kind of start of the season, you know. Everybody's in shorts, like, yeah, no, that's too early. Yeah, but come on, it's no more winter.
Basically, the time of year when everyone catches a cold
Yeah,
because they just
Everybody-
ruin their immune system.
get too excited. That's it.
Yeah, well,
So, we talked about why now. Finally, I know. No, of course, we had it. And as Spider said, that we had the plan of doing this a while, and it took some time before we got started. Because we also
Yes.
didn't really know exactly what content we wanted to do. We wanted to have something that related to what we did on Twitch, or what we do on Twitch. And at the same time, we wanted to have something more unique. So, the things we're doing right now is a bit of a, well, it looks like a mixed bag, doesn't it? I don't know if we might have some ideas of keeping things a bit retro and just keeping a different category than our usual vibe. And then we're having this sort of a Minecraft idea with more modern stuff and just building and creating stuff, which is something that you used to do on stream a while back, but nothing we do
Yes.
nowadays. So we get to play around with a totally different concept, and hopefully the people can appreciate it still, even though they usually watch retro. And we're having fun, and was our first and foremost motivation to do this. Is we have basically, if I could say it myself, I wanted to have an excuse making content and playing these fun games, because I personally I never got to play Minecraft other than when it was beta, and I've been wanting to find a way to come back to it. So
yeah. So basically, on this channel, we're like planning on playing co-op games and yeah,
co-op stuff and
some modern ones, and also like throwing in some retro games, which may or may not be single player, but we're gonna figure it out.
we're gonna figure it out. As like we have ideas, but we don't really know what kind of avenue we'll be comfortable with in the long run, and how much we will be doing the videos, and there's a lot of things to still be answered, you know. So just so you guys know, we are just feeling things out still. As you can tell, this is kind of the first video for the channel to introduce, so there's a lot of things to happen from now on.
Yeah, so basically, all the different playthroughs and content, it's not really set in stone just yet. We have some pre-recorded videos, but overall the channel is going to evolve, and yeah, we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, we need to have at least some of the recordings we've done is also just for our own self to see, like, do we hate each other when we play games? We have to figure out that part first. So, and it's going okay. I don't hate her as much as I thought I was going to. No. No, but it's fun.
I don't
it's
hate
really
you that much either.
I'm
So.
glad to hear that.
Yes,
but we
it's
have
mutual.
we have fun playing the games together at least. So that's set in stone, and then we'll just see what we won't be forcing ourselves to play content that we don't enjoy. So we'll just see. That's the best thing I can say. We have ideas, but I'm not gonna make any promises.
But one thing we have, well, kind of like figured out so far is our upload schedule,
Yeah.
at least for the foreseeable
Surprisingly,
future.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's going to be, well, the time is going to be in Central European time.
Yeah.
So you might have to figure out what time that is in your time zone. But our current plan is to upload at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Yes. So
yes, twice a week.
That is 2 videos a week for those of you that are very attentive. So, yeah. That is something we figured out, even though that we might not know exactly what kind of content we're going to do. We think, we want to have at least some sort of routine to then get started. So at least if you have some idea of how much we would like to do, then we have like a goal to push forwards, and we can see if we can do 2 videos a week, or we want to do less, or maybe we want to do even more. But now at least we have some sort of expectation and goal for us, and also it's of course good for people to know when to possibly expect a video, and we won't be releasing when we're live, which was also kind of the idea as well. So we don't really mix up where people would want to go.
Yeah, of course. I guess we could also mention our current streaming schedules. Just
Sure.
In case anyone's curious.
I guess yours is more set in stone with mine. But
yes.
For now, at least, it will be a working schedule to focus on.
Yes. So I currently stream 3 days a week, as I've mentioned. So I currently stream Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 11 a.m. Central European time.
Yeah. So. And I stream on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, which is 5 days a week, 7 a.m. Central European time every day. At least we stick to our same, it's easy to remember when we go live. You're at 11 a.m. all the time, and I am at 7 a.m. all the time. It's early for me, but you know what? I like it early. I've always enjoyed doing things early, at least in the later years, when my better years, I could even say. Then being structured helped doing my last year of uni. I just always like to do things in the morning because I like to get things done. So with streaming as well, if I would start 12, I would just faff until 12, usually. So I know that, okay, the earlier I start, the better. And for now, I barely miss any stream, even though it's early. I have to get up at 6 every morning. So I enjoy it. And that's, I don't think that I'm going to change that in the short while either.
And I mean, since we've now kind of both mentioned which time zone we do stuff in, we do live in the same time zone, but several countries apart. So
yes,
yeah, I'm from Austria. My accent is weird. I know.
Interesting.
Yeah. People tell me that all the time, and on my channel, it's on my Twitch channel, it's a tradition to try and guess where I'm from. And one of the main guesses is UK.
Yeah.
So
you have a very good accent in terms of good English, but it sort of bridges the gap between UK, Australian, and suddenly you stumble over something, which is what I like to describe it as. Suddenly something goes wrong. The robot malfunctions. No, but it's good. And you said that you're basically growing up bilingual, right?
Yes, I grew up bilingual. So I started learning English around the age of 3, I think. So yeah, I started pretty early on. My schooling was bilingual, so English and German. And then I got more into English, through reading books, watching movies, watching shows. And eventually I ended up starting my channel.
Yeah.
So my Twitch channel, because, yeah, I was already watching other people stream. And, yeah, I wanted a way to, well, practice English and also have people to chat to. And, yeah, figured, why not start my own channel?
That's cool. We'll also talk more about the motivations on starting a channel soon. But I'll do my part as well, I guess, for the amount of how many countries are we apart? Well, Austria and me, I'm in Norway. So this is, usually I don't have guessing games on my channel. We already have Redeem as a talk in Norwegian that usually gives it away. And I think that while my accent isn't really Norwegian, I'm not trying to cover it usually. Sometimes when I go on different rounds, you can definitely hear the Norwegian twang, or the Scandinavian twang, at least for those that aren't really that familiar with. If I would try, like now that I'm speaking in this, we're having a slight podcast format, I think more about what I'm talking about. So it will probably be harder to tell from more people, but still, I'm not trying to hide the idea. I'm just trying to talk better, if that's, so different sort of line there. But yeah, been living in Norway forever. Don't travel a lot, but I'm comfortable here. I just don't like how expensive it is. Getting international pay through and being in an expensive country doesn't feel very rewarding, but it is still something. So yeah, you mentioned about the streamer thing. Since you suddenly know the language, you want to have a channel, you watched a little bit before. So what was your motivation on why you wanted the channel? Like, what were you thinking? Some goals, initial goals at least.
Well, as I said, one of the main ones was to just practice speaking English instead of just hearing other people speak it.
Yeah, okay.
Or reading it.
So practicing it.
Yes, practicing. Since I didn't really have a reason to speak English otherwise.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted an excuse, basically. So, yeah, that worked out pretty well. And on the other hand, I also liked the structure of having a channel. So before I was watching other people's channels, but basically I always got frustrated when they changed their schedule or cancelled streams. So yeah, I wanted to not have to deal with other people doing that. So instead I started my own channel.
It's a special kind of motivation.
Yeah, well, it worked out. I mean,
here
we are,
them.
4.5 years later.
Yeah.
So
Spider just wanted to show somebody how it was to have a proper schedule. And now here she is. She's stuck to it. She's going to keep telling every stream, look at my schedule. And now look at yours. Like if there's anything to... Yeah, go ahead.
It does pay off to have a good schedule on Twitch.
Yeah, I think it does, yeah. And if there's anything that we have at least in common in terms of that, is we're usually very punctual. Like we go live at the minute almost every time. If we're 2 minutes late, we already get mods like, what's going on? Are you okay? Are you in trouble? SOS? So yeah, we just like to have a good routine, and we know, like, of course, from an audience standpoint, it's good to have a schedule, something to look forward to, know when what's going to happen. But it's just good personally, for me at least. I like that, to just have things planned out.
So why did you initially start your channel?
So, well, it's kind of a... there's different ways to answer that. Because, since I've mentioned that I did randomly stream a lot. So I'm going to talk about my initial interests in streaming, and then I'm going to talk about why I would at 2 times try to start streaming like regularly. So my initial interest in streaming is that, well, I just, similar idea to you. You enjoyed talking English and learning. So I also like to try to talk more, and I always like to be the funny man. So I just, I don't know, I could be funny man to other people maybe, and then usually at the beginning or whenever I just streamed randomly, it was just share the link to friends, and then be the funny man to the friends, and you do something weird. So, but it was also the idea of maybe some stream will, kind of hit good, and people will watch it, and suddenly people will have an influx of people. And like, hey, cool, I'm funnier man for more people. And I like the idea because I'm always, the things that I've enjoyed doing in the past has been to entertain people. That's the thing that's always been at my core, entertaining. Be it musician, making something for someone. It's always been like making product to share, to show. And streaming has always been there as a slight idea ever since like 2009 when I was 19. It's like always been, that's always a good outlet to just try to share and talk. So that was initial interests, just to do into some easy like stuff like that. In 2017 I started, and the main goal was to just really try to expand and become known outside of my friends. I wanted to see if I could be as cool as my heroes on Twitch or whatever, the people that you looked up to, that you were inspired by. But I didn't have it in me at that time. I wasn't in a good mental space. I was basically hitting myself, putting myself down whenever things didn't go as planned. So then would just like be a very good downward spiral in terms of my own health and in terms of my own stream quality. So I just stopped for a while. But when I began now in 2021 in April, my interest was to... I remember I bought all the good equipment. I wanted to have no excuse of why it was going to go bad. So I kind of had the same idea. I wanted to be the funny man on the internet. I wanted to be like a cool, calm place. People always said they like to listen to my voice. So, well, I mean, there may be some business for just talking. And I just made sure I bought everything that I could, because I had a decent job at the time. I really lived cheaply. So I could say to myself, okay, I'm just not doing good. That's it. I don't have any technical excuse. But it's been working out. So I've just been, since then, I've been trying to build a community. I really like the community vibe growing. And that's been the selling point as well been going on. The amount of love that's been able to be shared around, and the people that you start to know. I've been talking for a while now, but you can just stop me if you like to. But it's just being able to know that you can become more friendly with random people that appears to be random people. Even Spider here was completely random to me a while back. And now I consider many people my personal friends, even best friends. And to be able to open up that avenue, which has happened for me with streaming, because it's a place where you can have a community, it's been really magical. So I don't want that to stop at all. So that's kind of the newer motivation for streaming, is to keep growing both as a person and to make something lovely for people to enjoy.
Yeah, I'd say having a community on Twitch has definitely been, well, one of the biggest reasons why I'm still streaming after all these years. I mean, I'd say if it was just, well, me talking to myself, that wouldn't really have been something
at one point it will be to say me or something. Then you have to reinvent yourself for your own self,
Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't still be a streamer if it wasn't for my community. So, yeah, I'm very, very thankful to have people who've stuck around watching my channel for years now. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it's very humbling.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. At least for you, who have had some people that have actually stuck around since 2017.
Yes.
That's amazing. Ish.
2018.
Yeah. Well, it's still a long enough time to be like, you still enjoy just watching the content. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not at that stage yet currently for me where I'm able to have a history, because it's not been a full year. Basically, what I did back in 2017 was so little that I have no people come back, and I don't expect them to. that I used to see, other than people that already know me as a person in my real life, you know, actual people, friends from before. So I don't have any history like that yet, but eventually it will be fun to see like old regulars come back and whatever.
Yeah, for me, since I did take like the 2.5 month break fairly early on into streaming, I didn't really like keep the small community I built back then. So yeah, I don't think. Well, there haven't been many people from back in 2017 who have watched since then.
No.
But there are like at least one or two who have said hi again.
Mm.
And of course, people I already knew before starting the channel. There are those people who, well, watched my very first streams and then, well, some of whom I'm still in touch with, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's lovely. I remember going back to streamer friend of mine back in 2017. She was doing slightly better, but she was very new. And now she's doing very well. She's been streaming ever since then. She was having a good start from there. She was doing retro stuff in 2017, and she had charisma and everything to just keep going. And now she averages around 800. And I was finally one time I just were in chat like, hey, and long time, and I like. And she didn't see the message, and she's like, "Oh, whatever." It felt like I'm gonna finally say hello again, and then, but the channel was too big, so I was like, "Well, it just didn't work." Well, later then. But it's that is a lot of Twitch, you know. Just yeah, sometimes your chat just won't be read because of activity, and of course, it's also an explanation for our channel. That's we don't. If you miss a message you sometimes send, don't feel bad about it. We have a lot of people that talk to us. We'll get back to you if you're concerned, and if anything, you can highlight that message, and I'll see it.
Yeah, true. Sometimes it's very easy to miss like a couple of messages. Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah.
So, especially if you're like, well, focused on the game, because, well, you have to figure out a puzzle or,
Oh yeah, like
have
games
to strategize or something. It's very easy to, well, forget to read messages every, let's say, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely is. It depends on the game. Usually, like, there's two ways that I get mostly distracted by stream by the game, which is either just a fast-paced game, which makes sense, just some action things that will keep your attention because you have to react, and the other one is just a good old puzzle, a big brainer. At least for me, some people will call it a small brain, but I'll just be working my noggin, and at some points, if I feel like the puzzle is very interesting, then I'm like, oh, what are you guys talking about? You'll be so far behind on everything in chat because you just had your mind developed on one thing only. But yeah, so it happens. So that's kind of why I also have, like, even though people don't usually use the highlighted message, it is a very good excuse for me to point to, like, well, if you needed me to see this, you would want to highlight it. That's the kind of my first excuse, is to just, hey, look at that. Then I would definitely see it. You can either repeat it or use that one.
But yeah, I'd say overall it's still... It can be kind of impossible to read every single chat message.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sadly it does happen sometimes. But...
Except for you, David. I'd never read your chat messages. No. Somebody named David right now will be like, hey, was that me? Does he know my... No, no.
Poor David.
It's always fun to mention the random name because there is always be somebody. For example, there's a meme in my channel. We always have my protagonist is always called Jerry. And so when the person that was showing up and he said, I love this idea because my name is Jerry. And we're like saying praise Jerry and chat. He's like, I love this. This is perfect. Everybody supports Jerry. It's like the biggest confidence boost of him to just join the stream, you know. So you win some, you lose some with those things.
Yeah, well. I don't really have a character like Jerry, but
you have mascots.
I guess I could. Yes, I do have 2 mascots. This is Reginald, Reginald the Third, Slayer of Flies, and in the mirror you can see a large stuffed giraffe.
Yes.
Her name is Violet.
She's dangerous.
Yeah, her face is a bit derpy. Yeah. So they're just around on my channel now. So
yeah, it's been a fun change. The funny thing about Violet, which you won't be able to see easily right now, but it's the kind of face that look, I'm innocent, and then you think, no, you're not. There it is. You see that smile?
Yeah.
That's devious. That's some deceptive thing going on right there. It's like I'm just a giraffe. I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, we all love Violet over there. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't have any sort of mascot like that. But yeah, it just kind of happens randomly, as you told me about the thing as well. Suddenly, like we were having a vote on the spider that she has on the chair.
yeah,
It was given to you as first of all, the spider was a gift, and then we'll need a name, and now it's just a thing. So things just happen through random or seemingly random events, and now we can't remove it because it's a thing.
yes, Reginald is just here now. So.
Yeah,
Now he's also on this channel. So
that's true.
welcome, Reginald.
That's true.
And Violet.
In case Spider's ever gone, Reginald will step in and help me out on some commentary.
Well, Reginald and Violet, because Violet
I don't trust Violet,
my Twitch channel.
so that's true. But Violet is busy running the Twitch channel. Reginald can take over the YouTube one.
Yeah, true.
I need to manage this by my own, which is a mess.
I mean, you've got the heart plushie on your microphone.
That's true. I do have a reminder to... Oh, I don't have depth perception, which sucks. Let's see. No, I do. But doing this on the camera with the mirrored image is kind of bad. Yes. But I suck with this heart ever since Christmas because this is when I bought it on Christmas. But I would just... There needs to be more hearts around. More love in the world. So I will have the heart here. Remember to stay lovely, which I always say. And yeah, need some form of that. At least for me, which is, we have emotions. We men, we are not all dumb and anger baseball. We need to be more open and lovely. So at least if I can do something, just a small bit, have a heart. Have a heart at least.
But yeah, since we're already talking about, our backgrounds, you might want to introduce a certain gentleman on your wall.
Oh, you mean the one that's in the back?
Yeah, that one.
I can make room. So it's just, he has many names, but the true name is John Cleese. And the reason for that I have him on the wall, just because it's for me, it's a big comedic inspiration as I don't know if I should call him a hero of mine, but he's just great. And it's a very iconic face. And I do like both his style of comedy and his quick wit, improvisational skills and whatever. So I like his humor. And I also like his real talk side. He's been doing some of the talks about motivation and creativity and such like that. And I just vibe to that. And when you get to experience, as well as you get usually with streamers as well, you get this kind of, you watch them for the first time. Or the couple of first times or whatever. And it's like, haha. And it's fun. And then you maybe watch them some more and you become a little bit kicked. Yes, I remember you talked about that or whatever. And then you know them. You're like, okay, we're sort of friends, but not friends because we're not online, but we don't know each other. But then after a while, then if they suddenly they talk to something more about life or some other aspect, and suddenly like you become to treasure them for real. Like when they can both be funny, man, and they can both be an inspirational side of you, like giving you good advice and whatever. And then you become like to really treasure them. And that's kind of what happened with John Cleese for me. I grew up with watching Fawlty Towers. Then I started watching Monty Python, which is of course everybody loves Monty Python. Just started watching more of him. And when I saw more of his other works as well, and how he saw life and how smart this person was, I was inspired. So yeah, that's that guy. He goes by many names on the stream. Some of them are all Nikola Tesla. Edgar Allan Poe is the second most voted one. People think it is. It's Freddie Mercury. It's Frank Zappa. It's been Einstein as well. What was your initial idea? Do you remember?
I generally don't really know that many celebrities, so I don't think I had a guess.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, so that's that person.
So, yeah, while I have watched most of the Monty Python movies, and I think some amount of Fawlty Towers, yeah, I'm not nearly as familiar with his work as you are. But, yeah.
Do you have any some sort of just in mind? Let's call him an idol for me, just because it's easier to say. Like, do you have an idol?
I can't really think of a specific one, no. I'm just kind of, like, there are people who inspire me, but they tend not to be celebrities.
Yeah.
So, for me, for example, teachers...
Okay, yeah.
In a lot of cases were people I looked up to. So, yeah.
Yeah, and there's definitely some, like, other people, for me, many. But some would be personal mentions and whatever, and that wouldn't necessarily mention that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
There's plenty of people. Usually for me, it's like a bag of different people. So when I also... For example, I had the idea when I was getting more into streaming again now, from 2021. And after things started to go well, I thought about what kind of streamer mentality do I think that I want? You know, if I start to develop more of a... Instead of experimenting more, what do I want to look forward to? So I started to combine two people that are both streamers that I look up to. And like, I have that. I like that, and I think I have that. And I also have this thing, and I like that. And I could be the osmosis of that. You see, so it's like, I imagine what I could be by combining the ideas of what I like most between my idols, if I could put it like that. So it's always fun to see, like, how do I feel that I can compare or something. Which is really hard to determine, but...
Yeah, for me, like, I don't really try to compare myself to others that much. So, yeah, in that sense, I don't really accumulate idols.
That's true. So I do, I guess, yeah.
there are definitely things that like other people do that I admire, but that like to me, idolizing someone is still a step above that, and yeah, it's not really something I tend to focus on that much. I try and focus more on like myself
Yeah.
and what I can do to improve who I am, not so much on like what other people do.
True. I'm more like that in terms of my personal life. I try to just be the best that I can be, and then I don't really have a lot of pointers. But when I look to creating something for myself or whatever, I just get very easily inspired, or what's the term, when you watch, for example, like a movie and you just become really attached to sort of a vibe. Let's say you watched a pirate series, and you just afterwards you're like, I just love everything pirate, you know. So it's not inspired, but it's like another word for that. So you just become very much entranced by something. For me, it sort of relates to the same idea. Like I see something that I like I would like to try that. I would like this, and you kind of become a little bit of that person because I see something or I remember something that I really like, and I want to get there, you know. So I guess I do that a lot more in terms of at least when I am trying to be funny or just generally streaming, you know.
So, since we've talked about streaming a lot, what stuff we do outside of streaming?
Stream off stream?
Yes.
Yeah, my other stream channel. I can talk about that. No. Yeah, sure. Do you want me to start, or do you want to take the pin there? I mean, you asked the question. I can start. It's just a natural flow. So I guess what I do off stream. I used to. Well, now I don't even have the work because I kind of, as I said at the start of the video here, that I trying to do full-time streaming, so I don't have my other job anymore currently. And I used to, when I started streaming last year, I was a university student, completing the, it'll be a pseudo second year because I could complete the bachelor in the third year because I have a lot of different, some random subjects from before. But since that, I'm now not a student because of some disagreements with bachelor, and also streaming was taking off, so I decided to not do anything of that. So my current off stream stuff that I like to do, that is not just what everybody else does, which of course is just relaxing television, whatever you like to enjoy. A main interest would be, I guess, disc golf, as it's called, frisbee golf. Somebody says that. Been playing for 1.5 years at this current time, and it's really fun because it's like the idea of it is so perfect. What we do is play with friends in the woods for anything but 2 to 5 hours. So you're just, at least during winter time, it's like we make coffee, we have our backpacks with frisbees, we go around in the woods trying to throw the frisbee into a basket. We laugh, we dance, we sing. Okay, we don't sing that much. We just a really good time out in the nature. So that aspect combined with some sort of, you know, how typical golf is, at least for most people, just a fun thing to master while you're out in nature and just living life. So that's kind of my main interest. Other than that, it's I used to do more crafty stuff, but I haven't been doing a lot of it lately. So yeah, that will be my main interest, other than just the typical ones that I don't feel are just maybe boring to mention. Like, I like to watch games, and I like to take care of myself. So, what about you, Spider?
Yeah, so I tend to enjoy arts and crafts, but haven't really done much recently.
Oh no, we both fail.
Yeah. I got into pixel art around last April. So I guess around the time you start streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I enjoy photography. Like, I'm not a professional at any of them, but it's stuff I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
yeah, it's neat. So, yeah, that's the main stuff. I also really enjoy taking walks. I know it sounds very boring, but yeah, my hobbies are really, well, not that wild, I guess.
Yeah. No, but that's fine. You can still enjoy them, even though it sounds simple, because there's a lot of people that don't even walk at all, almost, So that's the thing. When you have a car to just go wherever you want to do and wherever you want to go, there's no reason to walk anywhere. It's like I had or were you going to say something else? Add something else?
No, just like specifying, like, for me, I really do take long walks.
Yeah.
So like over an hour of walking.
Yeah.
That is something I enjoy doing.
Do you usually listen to stuff when you...
Yes. I tend to listen to music and podcasts. So I don't really create music myself. I have absolutely no talent when it comes to that, but I enjoy listening to it.
Well,
and
most
I'm
people...
decent at remembering lyrics.
And I am horrible at remembering lyrics, which is interesting. For me, I just hear music. I just usually when I hear a song, I hear the song as the melody, and the lyrics, the vocals are usually just part of the melody. So I could listen to a track maybe 20 times, and I still like. I just what did it sing about? I don't know what they're singing about. I'm just vibing, But yeah, I was just gonna mention about the whole walking thing. Like, it was a while back now, but just remember that I was hanging with my friend, and I said, why don't we just go down to Subway and buy ourselves a sub and hang out a bit and go back? And then and we started to go outside, and I started to walk on the path, and he's like, what? We have the car. Yeah, but we can just go and have a walk, He was looking at me like, why? Well, it's nice. So, I mean, and he was a fit person, whatever. It's just not the idea, as you say, you enjoy walks, right? So, the idea of enjoying the walk, and not just for people that don't really walk a lot, they just think it's this is time wasted, But so is watching a movie is time wasted. Oh, whoops. It's so fine. It's just a matter of what you put into it or what you enjoy about it. So you can have the same amount of enjoyment by taking a walk and also watch a movie. And someone would say it's better to take a walk. You're out in nature and you're also using your body and you're enjoying it. This is better than watching a movie. So it's just basically what is our society's typical way of understanding what's fun, I guess. So that way I defend your statement.
But yeah, there are so many people who tend to avoid walking when they can.
Yeah.
So
the idea of wasting
they
time.
basically just walk when it's, to and from the car, to and from like the train, that sort of thing. So yeah, for me, I just fully skip other modes of transport in favor of walking instead. So yeah, that confuses a lot of people, but I enjoy it. So
yeah, we were the same. We are both we just enjoy the simple ways of transport, I guess.
Yes. And also neither of us drive, so that also probably plays a part. So
it makes sense by default. Like neither of us wants to drive, or at least for me, I don't want to drive. I don't know if you have another reason for it, but it's just like
I've never started trying to drive, so I don't know how I'd feel about driving yet.
I did drive a little bit, and I went into it. I know that I didn't like traffic, and I drove a little bit first, I didn't actually drive with the school that I had, but I drove with my father and my brother, and maybe one time with my mother. But basically, I never liked it. I always wanted to keep on the speed limit. It's like, hey, go, you can drive faster here. Like, I don't want to drive faster here, father. And he's like, go, just go. He's like, no, I don't. I don't want to go. I could walk home for 3 hours now and I will be fine with that. I just don't want this anymore. So I just never liked it. And basically, the more and more I've kept away from it, because I usually don't sit on many rides either with friends, travel with them or whatever, don't take a bus around either. Now I just been really comfortable outside of a car, so now also just getting in the car now, usually I get much more cars more frequently. And when you're used to using your legs, when you're used to taking walks, you don't mind taking those walks. And you plan a bit, you know? So for me, I'm comfortable with that idea.
Yeah, well, the only, issue I've had with taking long walks is weather. And when I've got a lot of stuff to carry. So, yeah, there have been times when I was carrying a backpack that was way heavier than it should be, but still walking the entire way. So, maybe not the best decision, but yeah.
No, but then again, the flip side of that, which I like to think about a lot, is when you're doing those things, you kind of maybe exerting yourself a little bit extra. Is that you get a nice feeling when you're done, right? You get like, that's fine, I'm finally home. Holy hell! And I like that. There's more sort of an aspect of, just a reward for doing something like that. So I think it's nice. Build up a slight tolerance to resistance. You can expect, like, you would be able to see that, okay, there's a rainstorm coming and I need to buy groceries. I guess I'll just have to do it. Better now than later, you know? Instead of knowing that you always have a car, knowing that you always have an alternative. Imagine if you would drive a car on a regular. You would never take that walk if you know there was a risk. Meanwhile, now, you know that you have to take the walk. So just like, well, gotta do it. So that's what it is. I think there's some beauty to that.
Yeah, agreed.
And people will think we are weird. But the important thing is, we agree.
So, I guess another thing we both agree on is gaming is pretty neat.
Gaming is fun.
Yeah. How did you get into gaming?
Oh, how I got into gaming. I think, this is early. But my experience with games started when I was 4, I think. Maybe even 3. Because the interesting part is that both my mom and my dad, they had games that they played. When they put us to bed, they stayed up playing video games on the late night. So they were quite used to that idea of video games, and they knew that it was fun to show us as well. So I played, I think the first thing I played was Mario Brothers on the NES, on the Nintendo NES. And ever since then, it's basically just been a lot of love for video games, and my parents knew that. We all kind of loved it. I had 2 brothers. They enjoyed it. Dad played. He wanted to have the newest consoles. Mom played all the Zelda games. We just a big old gaming family, so it was natural for me to just get started. And after I got started, I loved it, and everybody else did. So all the conversation topics was that game, yeah, Doom came out, and so I basically been playing games since I was young, and I haven't really had a hiatus ever since. Because if I've not been playing games at one point, I've always been watching games. It's weird, but it's always been a part of me. So So I guess that's the long and short of it, I guess, because it's a long time span. But yeah. And what about you?
I mean,
yeah.
you even made your own game.
I even made the own game. I've tried made other concepts as well. There's one thing that I would like to show you at one point, but the thing is I've lost the source codes and things. But I started to make a point and click game.
Oh.
And I really like the inventory management systems I did start to create. But I kind of lost the whole idea. I lost the project to some computer or something because I didn't have it available on my cloud, whatever. Different topic for different time. But yeah, so tried to make video games, have done it, have released something, have made money off it, and also tried to make tabletop video games and video games, anything I like. It's just that's my kind of life. So yeah, if there's no other questions, you can go ahead and talk about your start as well.
Yeah, so basically I had edutainment games growing up. So yeah, I didn't really know many gamers, to be honest. And yeah, I also didn't really know much about the gaming community. So yeah, I had edutainment games for the most part, and then well, those were on PC. Then I started playing on the Nintendo DS. Yeah, and continued with, yeah, it technically was the Nintendo DS Lite. So I had that one. Later on I had like the 3DS XL. That one's newer, so
yeah.
I don't really do much gaming outside of PC at this point. But yeah, that's how I got started. So the DS Lite. I was playing Animal Crossing, and yeah, that was a game I was very much addicted to. Yeah, Animal Crossing Wild World. I played that game way too much. And yeah, eventually on PC I started out with Spellforce 2, Settlers 4, Sims 2, and Spore. Those were games I played like fairly early on. I was a bit late to gaming, so yeah, I didn't start quite as early as you did.
No, but I don't think it's normal to start as early as I did either. Then it's up to the parents, you know, when they want to introduce you to whatever. So that's interesting. So what's made you stick to PC, do you think? Why didn't you want to continue playing handhelds and whatever?
Well, I never really got into console, so
Yeah.
that's a thing. Yeah, but PC is just, I guess it's more comfortable. Bigger monitor, nicer chair,
It's more of a
better
station.
posture.
Yeah, but better posture could be said with, you could sit on a lot of great comfy chairs.
Yeah, well, for me, I tend to not have the best posture while playing on a handheld device.
Yeah, handhelds are worse. I never, like, I've had some handhelds myself, but I also agree that it came to a time quite early on where I realized I just don't like playing handheld games for longer. I just don't like this. Don't like this. I don't like to use my phone that much either nowadays because I sit like this. Or if I don't sit like this, I have to hold it up like that. And then I don't like holding it up like that all the time. So I just throw it away instead. So ever since I've just not had to use the phone that much, I just don't anymore. But yeah, so but there's a lot of people that love handhelds. It's just easy to pick up for them. they always have it available, so they can just transport, flip it up, and then play the games easily. But yeah, I just don't like this one. So yeah.
Yeah, the main game I play on my phone nowadays is Sudoku.
Yeah, that's kind of ish what I would play on the phone as well. There's the Sudoku, there was the Picross it's called, but it's also called something else. Basically another numbers game. I always forget what the other word is. It's basically there's like squares, just like Sudoku, but you're adding in colored pixels to equate to what was it again? Basically, you're doing
so like
some
a
sort
paint
of
by numbers type thing.
maybe paint by numbers. It will be that kind of thing. It's basically you kind of do some sort of math problems and like make sure that everything is in order, and then after that it becomes a pixeled image, and it's like yay! It's a small little reward at the end, and you can also slightly do a hunch check where you kind of have the math problem there, but you also see the image in front of you. So maybe like I would expect there to be a square here. I don't want to think about math right now. So if I can just pretend that there's a square here, it's like, oh, you completed. Fantastic. You can cheat your way to being smart. So I want to talk about one thing more, at least. I guess we've been around, and you can of course ask about another thing after my question if you think like there's more to talk about. But there's one interesting thing that I would like to ask about, at least, which is like, what is your favorite game that you have streamed? Your best experience on stream with a game? Either like a wow, you're surprised, or just like I really appreciate that I took time to play this.
Well, it's difficult to pick just one game, but well, I guess two games that come to mind that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, you can mention more. It's fine.
So I really enjoyed playing Loom.
Loom, yeah,
it's a
great game.
Point and click, kind of, but it's very different in how it's structured. Basically, you learn to do spells. So, yeah, it's a fun game. And it was a lot easier than a lot of the other point-and-click games I've played. So, yeah, in that regard, it was a more... Well, it was a smoother experience. Let's put it that way.
Which is nice.
And another game I really enjoyed streaming was the first Laura Bow game, Colonel's Bequest.
Yes.
Basically, it's like a, well, crime-solving mystery without going too much into detail as to what happens
keep it
in
exciting.
the game.
Yeah. Sort of a whodunit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks really intriguing. I haven't played it myself, but yeah, I've seen a bit, and it's definitely it keeps you interested to read what people actually are saying in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever play the game, I'm definitely going to watch you play that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, sure. I mean, for me and my streams, I usually just have a very open mind about it, which is what's currently I had a vote on my stream for a week about what game I would like to start playing, and there was basically 6 or 7 games basically almost tied by 1 to 2 votes, different genres, 3 different genres or something like that, and I was, well, at least people would like to see whatever, so, and I would like to play good games or weird games that I appreciate, so that's good to see. There's very few games that I rule out as a type of game that I don't like to stream. Most, in general, one of the games that I don't want to stream is basically ones that demand very much of me as a sort of how fast paced. So a very fast RTS, for example, is not my jam because you have to think fast and you have to act fast. And then I don't have time to stream, you know? I don't know, chat, I can't chat, I can't do anything, so other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not that great with fast-paced games either, so if we end up playing any on this channel, it's gonna be interesting to see how we do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as we said earlier, we kind of have an idea of what we like to start doing, but there's a lot of things that we like to try. Let's say it like that, and then we'll see what happens with our typical game. We don't know what the typical game would be yet, so it's exciting for us.
Yeah. And of course, if you guys have any suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, sure. That's when you write in the comment section down below.
Yes.
And you write that, can you play the video game where Oscar has eyes? Like, what? Could you say the name, please, of the video game? Which helps us do less research. Yeah.
So, what's the favorite game you've streamed?
I also kind of have two. One is more iconic, and I'll probably remember that longer, I think, just for the reason of the game. And then there's the other one that I just enjoyed. Like, it was such a good experience, and I really liked most of the aspects of the game. So the first one that I like to mention, on different terms, let's say, it will be Might and Magic 3 Isles of Terra, which is not to be confused by Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which is the one that everybody plays, so it's still popular today. But Might and Magic 3, which is the dungeon crawler, the grid-based RPG thing. It was the game that I started playing on stream. And it was the first time I dared to go into an old school PC RPG, which I'd still not done. I will always play console JRPGs, like Japanese RPGs, like Final Fantasy and similar things like that. So I was so unknown, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I had some PDFs ready, something to read on to get smarter, and then suddenly people started showing up and helping, and then with their advice and me looking at the clue book, I started to realize, like, this is so damn cool. There's so many things to do here. It doesn't stop. I was so just surprised about how big in depth the game could be, and still things that I didn't see and whatever, you know? So it was like, that was the point of, oh, I start to love these games now. I finally got one down, and here we go. So that's like the most iconic game, and still good. And the other one was just, people think it's a bit slow, but I just love the vibe of the game. And it's called Betrayal at Krondor. So it's also a sort of an RPG-ish dungeon crawler, more of a story-based RPG on PC. It just has a lot of cool elements. Cool combat, great story, good music, good aesthetic. And it took me over 70 hours to complete, something like that. And also got, on the first stream, I got developers showing up from the game, story writers. I was like, fuck, this is amazing. So it was a good experience for streaming. It was a good experience as a game. And I cherish my memories now after the fact. Like this, I had so much fun. And I love the game. So that would be the other one.
Well.
Yeah,
I did see some of your Betrayal at Krondor stream, but
yes.
Well, I wasn't around when you first started streaming, so
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to like watch all your old VODs.
No, you should need to do that. Nobody should need to do that.
I mean, I don't even watch my own VODs.
Yeah.
But I was there, so.
Yeah, you were realizing what was going on. Yeah, I tend to watch my VODs usually for just to keep it to date with Like, okay, chat didn't complain about the stream, but can I find like, did I disagree with audio levels? And or can I see like, what was my mood today if I'm like insecure? Like, is there a reason for why I didn't feel good today? Or can I look at it? I can look at past, like go 6 months back and just listen to skip through like 10 minutes something from a VOD. And I can see like, have I changed just in sort of an interest, sort of an idea? Because I don't really mind watching myself in the past. I still think it's interesting. There's some cringy parts about it, but it's also like I had to learn at one point, and I still think some of the content is okay, it's passable, so I don't really mind watching it. So in those cases, I tend to watch a bit just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. So, I'd say we might at some point end up doing more of like these chatty videos.
Yeah, we might. We've thought about, for example, we planned this video. We wanted to have an introduction for everybody to see, like, okay, what's the deal with this channel? And then, of course, we might do more chatty if we like to do more chatty. We go back to the question from the beginning and yet again that we are figuring things out.
Yes.
And what we know is that we enjoy each other's company and we would like to do more content together. And from there, we shall see what we end up with. And of course, if you guys enjoy anything specific, since we're already kind of trying things out, feel free to mention them. As you said, mention games or mention ideas. Also fun. Like outside of just gaming, maybe like, what would you talk about art? Because she said she's into pixel art. I also do some pixel art. Those things can be done as well. So feel free to recommend whatever you like. And I'll delete the comment if I don't like it. It's very simple.
Yeah.
It will look so clean. All the love.
But yeah, in general, if you guys enjoy a specific format that we do, and you want to see more of it, let us know. If you really hate a specific format, let us know, and we'll go cry in the corner. So, yeah.
Loads of corners. Loads of corners. So don't worry about that. We can find the sad corner to cry to. But yeah, just do that. And shall we kind of wrap up the video at this point? Do you want to ask something else?
Sure. Well, I'd say we've covered quite a lot of different topics when it comes to introducing ourselves. So
yeah, we tried to be a bit informative this time around. Like me and Spider have been having some chats where we say to each other, like, okay, we can talk a little bit today, but keep it an hour. I'm busy. I'm tired. And most of the times we've done that, we've sat for 4 to 5 hours and just chatted. So it's not a topic of having a problem to chat. So, but now we figured we need to at least keep it slightly on point so we can actually introduce it in a way. So I think we were pretty good about the talking points today. So
yes, and as we've established, we're both streamers and have been for a while, off and on again in your case, but still. So yeah, we chat. We enjoy chatting.
We like to talk.
We're chatty people. So, yeah, if there's anything you guys want to, ask us about for a video like this.
Yeah, sure.
You can also put that in the comments.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically just anything you want to see on this channel, let us know.
I'm very curious.
Anything you don't want to see, also let us know. And like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. And I don't think we mentioned it yet, but hit that bell icon to keep your YouTube updated to get you inboxed.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's just cringe to say. I know one comment right now. One comment's going to be like, don't say that. They're going to say, stop saying like and subscribe. You sound so dumb.
Well, we're probably going to keep on saying it, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
Because we're professional YouTubers now, as you can
and
see.
you have to. It's in the guidelines. YouTube, you have to say like and subscribe when you're done with the video. And you have to start with, what's up, YouTube?
I mean, technically, people usually say like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment,
We
subscribe.
just shorten it to like and subscribe. So
Like and subscribe. Because we know there's
Yeah,
nothing
we're-
good
we're
that's going to
saving
come
you
from
time.
comment. There's nothing good to read there. Like and subscribe and don't comment.
well, prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. See, that's a challenge now. Okay. We said the things we need to
Yes.
say. We talked about us, the like, the
Yes.
comment, the bell. And other than that, it's all arbitrary and unnecessary. So, but anyways, let's, yeah. So I hope, in general then, sum it up. I hope you guys will enjoy watching the channel. And if you've been watching either my stream or the Spider Cookie stream from before, that
Or
you
both.
can, or both,
neither.
if you're a good old regular, you yeah, I hope that you can enjoy the content we make, and if not, then continue enjoying the stream or do whatever you want to do. It's very exciting for me to finally being to make some content with someone that I enjoy spending time with. So let's see what the future brings. Thank you for listening to the video. This has been a long video, so if you've been listening
Yes.
this far,
Yes.
you're pretty cool. You're
Yes.
pretty cool.
And you might also be asleep.
Which
But in that case, sleep well.
they wake up to that like, oh yeah, I'm cool. I woke up to being cool today. That's a pretty good start. Okay, we gotta cut it out.
All right. Yes.
Everybody, we'll see you in a very in a new video on
Yes.
Wednesdays and Sundays, 6 p.m.
CET.
CET. See your teeth. That's a weird outro line. See your teeth. Okay.
Yeah, CET. That.
Central European time. Okay.
Yes.
Bye bye, everybody. Take care of
Bye.
yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.